Hey everyone, it's Kate from Sleep Time Consulting and I am talking to you today about sleep regressions. So last week I decided to talk about nap transitions and I'd had a few questions about regressions, and it's always a common thing that people will ask, and actually the two things are weirdly linked in a sense, because sometimes disruption in the night is linked to one of those two things. So sleep regressions can cause sleep issues. So actually it's important, and all of my work is all about trying to understand the bigger picture and when it applies to you. So I thought this week I'll talk about sleep regressions because it gives you the information that you need. What I want to get across is when generally they happen, what they look like and what to do about them. That's kind of the key thing. So I'll give you my best tips and tricks and advice on all of that so you can go away feeling a bit more informed. So the first thing is looking at when they happen. Now I would say there's one defined sleep regression and the rest are, even that's a loose definition, the rest are linked in with developmental changes. So the first one, which is also a developmental change, is the one that we talk about most often, and that's the 4-month sleep regression. So the 4-month sleep regression is about the pattern of sleep that changes from newborn sleep into baby sleep. So a newborn sleep pattern or cycle is very simplistic, and at around that sort of 4-month-ish mark, it changes into a baby sleep cycle. Now, I could go on more about kind of what that is, but that's the regression in its moment, that 4-month mark of what's happening at that time. And the disruption that occurs is just due to that change. So you head into that kind of world of, okay, my sleep might have been good, it might have been bad, and then suddenly something changes, and that's when you can realise that a regression is happening, that your sleep patterns are kind of changing and your disruption in the nighttime might be changes. So around this kind of 4-month mark, we often see a bit of disruption. People often head into that sort of time going, oh God, when's it going to happen? Sometimes it doesn't happen. So you have that 4-month kind of mark when sleep regressions can happen. And then there are ones that people talk about really definitively, and that might be the 9-month sleep regression. It might be the 1-year sleep regression. It might be the 18-month. To be honest with you, I've had people talk to me about most ages and having a sleep regression. And really, it's quite easy just to call disrupted sleep a sleep regression. So I would always try and take a step back after that 4-month mark, because that's slightly more defined, and say, okay, what's happened here? Is there anything that we can look at that might be causing, kind of the issues that you're solving? Could it be, for example, a nap transition, which is why when I spoke earlier, the things that could be causing a disruption in the night are linked in with other things? Or is it, for example, they've just started crawling, or has speech really picked up? Those can be regressions in themselves, and that's what we start to see as they get past that 4-month mark. That disruption in nighttime sleep from what was a good sleep pattern is sort of a regression, but it's also a developmental change, and that's why there's been a bit of a rephrasing of the term regression into progression, because actually what you're seeing is your child move forward with something. So bear that in mind. Now, whenever it happens, whether it's 4 months or later in life, then just take a step back, think about what's happening, identify what you think it might be, and if you don't know, stick to your guns. If you believe you've got a good routine and you're happy with that, because no one needs to tell you to change anything, give it a week, maybe 2, and then if things aren't back on track, then that's when you might need to do something about it. You might just need to give your child a couple of weeks just to settle down into a new pattern of sleep. But like I said, there could be other things that are considering. Even this week actually, I had an email from a client who last week was literally tearing their hair out. It was an old client that had their child had slept really well since we worked together, and suddenly it had fallen apart. So I was like, well, let's just see what happens. So we'll book a call in if we need to, like this week. And they emailed back yesterday going, it's fine now. And that's possibly a sleep regression in action. So they had that moment in time, they worked through the regression, their body progressed forward, and then suddenly it's all okay. So actually, what we start to see is that these regressions iron themselves out. And that's why one of my key kind of thoughts around sleep is having good sleep to begin with. And then if it falls apart, like illness, holidays, regressions, it can often come back together really quickly. And if you are a bit stuck with what to do about your pattern of sleep and the fact that your regression is happening and it's not kind of going away, then don't be afraid to ask for help. And that's kind of what people like myself are here for. We're here to kind of analyse what's happening. We're here to make suggestions, and we're here to guide you through and get you back on track, because often that's just what it takes. It just takes a little bit of help to do that. So yeah, that's it. That's my chat through sleep regressions. I hope that was helpful. I try and keep these things nice and simple and quick and easy to understand. If you've got any questions, of course, just reach out, let me know, and I will happily answer them. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.